This is Paul Fromm with the Canada First Immigration Reform Committee, and this is being recorded on the 11th of March. Well, 2 days ago, with a breathless announcement, the Government of Canada, the Department of, what are they calling themselves now? Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship, announced that an ambitious plan to bring in between 280,000 and 305,000 new permanent residents this year. As we continue to show our global leadership, Canada will reunite families, offer a place of refuge to those fleeing persecution, and support Canada's long-term economic prosperity. And in some of the other statements that came out at the time, it almost sounded like some 30-somethings discussing maybe their running, that they had worked really hard and they'd achieved their personal best ever. These are the numbers of people that are going to be brought in as immigrants to Canada this year. This isn't some personal contest where people are testing their strength. These politicians are making decisions that are going to affect our lives. And if you're young, just hitting the job market, or if you're unemployed, you just got one big slap across the face. If we can get through the puffery, what the government has done is it's going to bring in 305,000 more immigrants this year. That's half the size of the city of Hamilton. What for? Well, we're being told it's showing our leadership. Well, it's showing something. It's showing either callous stupidity or worse. It's showing that our new political leadership under Justin Trudeau is no different from our old political leadership under Stephen Harper. They want to replace you, and they can't do it fast enough. I picked up my local paper just yesterday, and there was an article in there in the Mississauga News that employers in the area, that's in Halton and Peel counties, are not going to be doing much hiring this year. In fact, most have indicated that in the next few months they will not be hiring anybody. Some have even said they're going to be letting staff go. Well, wait a sec. Hang on a moment. Metropolitan, the GTA, really, that's the Greater Toronto Area, that's the City of Toronto, Mississauga, Oshawa, etc., is the final destination for about 125,000 of the immigrants taken in each year. So we are the major destination, followed by the lower mainland of British Columbia, essentially Vancouver. Well, what are employers saying? Well, they're saying they're not doing any hiring. Some are saying they're even going to be letting staff go. Well, wait a moment. Why are we bringing in people for jobs that aren't there? But worse, why are we bringing in people to make them the lot of people who are looking for work? Our young people, our recent graduates from high school, recent graduates from university, or people who've become unemployed. Why are we bringing in immigrants who are going to make their lot even worse? Behind or beneath all this sunny ways hype is a cold-blooded agenda. Let me tell you what's at work here. First of all, who won? I'll tell you who won. The greedy business lobby won. The selfish minority lobby won. And those who, for whatever twisted reasons, want to remake Canada and replace you, they won. Who lost? You did. If you're a European Canadian, you lost, and you lost big time. And it doesn't matter how much media attention Justin Trudeau and Sophie get swanning around Washington. What they've done is betrayed your interests. Okay, so there aren't jobs. There aren't jobs for Canadians, let alone 305,000 more immigrants. So what's at work here? Well, the business lobby likes it. They were in the lead up to this announcement. The business lobby, the major business umbrella groups said we need more immigration to fill gaps in the labor market. with 1.5 million Canadians out of work, 900,000 involuntarily in part-time jobs, what jobs exactly are going to be filled? I notice that even Alberta, that used to be a job magnet, is going through hard times. Their unemployment at 7.9% officially is higher even than the province of Quebec. Well, forget about the maritime provinces, they always have high unemployment. So if even a good place like Southern Ontario, that has traditionally had a fair number of jobs available, if our employers in Southern Ontario are saying, we're not hiring, we may even be letting some staff go, why would they bring more people in? Well, I'll tell you, the reason is simple. You have a big pool of unemployed people. That means you keep wages down. It's cruel, it's hard-nosed, and it's evil. It's evil that the government cooperates with that. Well, I said the minority lobbies won. Yep, there are people who profit from immigration. ESL teachers, social workers, immigration lawyers, of course, and then a whole industry of what's called immigrant settlement. That sounds good, doesn't it? But the immigrants will come here and we will help settle them. Give them some job training, give them some language training, give them some connections. Well, wait a moment. What does that cost us? That costs us almost $1 billion a year. Why? Because we're not bringing in people who can adapt. Why should we have to be a finishing school? They ought to be able to speak English before they get here. They ought to be able to have a job skill that we need. But actually, we don't need any job skills right now because we have high unemployment. But it's an industry. It's over $1 billion a year. There are lots of people who get their paycheck from that. So of course they're all for more immigration. And then perhaps the most sinister part of all, there are people who, quite frankly, they hate you. They can't see you replaced fast enough. It's kind of a nasty word, but some of us would call that genocide. It's genocide. Now, no, they don't take you out into a field and machine gun you and toss you into a pit and burn you. It's done a little bit more in a more sophisticated manner. You're just gradually replaced. I want to read you a note I got from a support. This gentleman is named Robert, and he lives in rural Alberta. And he writes, "This will be my last contribution. I turn 90 on March the 4th. Let these young, clever politicians live with their mistakes. I've seen the best of times. More justice and freedoms. No political correctness. No multicultural BS. And where everybody really had rights." And he says, keep up the good work. He's 90, he's tired, and he's disappointed. I know the world he came from. When I first started speaking politically for Ron Gossick's Canadian Intelligence Service in Alberta, I was out there in '77. What a beautiful place. What a beautiful place. This was the traditional Canada, almost all European, full of life, full of eagerness to work, to build that province. Now, that's not just Alberta. We have been invaded. And I don't blame the newcomers from the third world. They want to better themselves. That's fine. But were we ever asked? Was Robert ever asked? Were you ever asked? Was I ever asked? Do you really want this country changed into a third world country? No, we weren't asked. And that's why, in place of discussion about our future, all we get are these brainless slogans like diversity is our greatest strength. And of course, in terms of the immigration numbers, we need immigration to grow the economy. Well, I think you know, and I know, that's nonsense. It's wrong. What you can do, call your member of parliament and tell them, no way, 305,000, no. The only immigration number we should be looking at this year is 0. This is Paul Fromm for the Canada First Immigration Reform Committee.